welcome to Thursday afternoon. Coach Katie Starr, and I come on here to do a live stream for you because I want to show you how to use what are called vocal pitch points to sing in what is called the mixed voice. The mixed voice is the area basically between our head voice and our chest voice. And if you're just tuning in, let me know where you are tuning in from. I would love to give you a shout out. And okay, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I put together here all of the notes on our staff that are within the mixed voice. The mixed voice has been known for a long time in the music community as this kind of misunderstood or questionable area of texture and how to using a balance of things to get a mixed voice note. It's one of the trickiest places within our voice, but if you go back and I won't tell my whole story of how it all happened, but I came up with and discovered what are called pitch points within our human body. This takes the guesswork out of the mixed voice, makes it so easy to sing. I've helped over 5,000 students do this since 2020, and they've had 100% accuracy, everybody who puts their best effort into it. And these are all pitch points. The easy way to think of it is these are basically the places where the energy of our body flows and can stop in these spots here. And I'll get into why they're color coded in a second because there's a whole thing behind it. And the colors match the pitches. Pretty neat stuff. Anyways, okay, we'll get into that in just a moment. But what I'm going to do today is show you note by note how to get into these pitch points. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. And what we're going to do first is we're going to find note C4. And I'm going to be using an app here on my phone called On Pitch. And the On Pitch app, there's a lot of these pitch apps, but it shows you what note you're singing as you sing it. If it's green, you're directly in the very center of the pitch, which is 1 in 10,000 people could do that. Most people jump into a pitch a little bit sharp, which would be pink, or a little bit flat, which would be blue. So using this mixed with our pitch points and knowing the locations, kind of like knowing the frets on a bass or something like that, it makes it so much easier to sing in these areas. And also, if you're watching this and you're a little bit skeptical and you're like, okay, but what about resonation within your body? I'm going to go ahead and show you that visually before we get started. This is another app that shows the spectrum of the voice. We have what are called overtones that resonate all through our body, right? So as I'm singing a note, my whole entire body is resonating on these different pitches. So I'm going to give you an example of how this works so you can also see this. So I have a centralized pitch point, but then I'm also going to be having these notes, let's see if you can see it, above and below that are resonating through my voice. So this does not take that out of this at all. Of course, our sound is still resonating within our body, but this is called a centralized vocal pitch point, meaning my voice can go there and stop. And when I get it into those spots, I can sing on perfect pitch. 1 in 10,000 people, according to Google, can do that, but I'm going to show you how to do it today. So if you are getting excited and you're ready to jump into it, let me know in the chat. Let me know by giving me a little heart on the screen, and we'll go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so we're going to be finding C4 through the On Pitch app, which shows me the note I'm singing as I'm singing it. And to find it, I'm going to slide into it. So first we're going to look at where C4 is on our staff. And C4 is right here. It's also known as the middle C. And within our human body, it's located right below the bridge of the nose. So like if I would put on glasses, the top of the bridge would be where the glasses would hit. And then you'll feel that you have a bone if you just tap down it. It's sensitive right there where the glasses hit. That's another pitch point. but then if I tap down just a little bit more, it gets more sensitive again. And that is not only an acupuncture point where the energy can stop, but it also is a vocal pitch point. So now that you found that, you found C4. What we're going to be using today is called our introspective singing awareness. This means that as singers, we build connections in our body between our brain and our voice. But when we use our sense of touch, it makes it about 100 times easier. I like to explain it with this analogy. If I had a glass of water and I wanted to drink it, I wouldn't look at it and go, okay, I'm going to use the power of my mind to make this water go into my body. That would be like the hardest way ever to do it, right? Instead, I would use touch. It would be about 100 times easier, right? So that's how touch works. It also, scientifically, the kinetic energy of our body flows this way, and our hands are directly connected to it. Our muscular system is as well. And this is the instrument where my voice is at. So why not use what we have built in to make it easier for us, right? So we're going to take our right index finger and we're going to go down to just below the bridge of the nose right there, and go ahead and tap that spot. And you'll notice it's a little bit more sensitive than below it or above it, right? So you know that you found that spot. So now you're really kind of focusing in, and you have found where C4 is located. Now I'm going to show you what it's like to lock in a pitch. So locking in a pitch is when I'm going to slide my sound, and then when it gets to this spot, not only will I sense that I felt it vibrating with the tip of my finger, but I'm also going to use my singing sense, which is my introspective awareness, meaning I'm aware of what's happening inside of my body, and I can feel a buzz, similar to like if you're going to blow your nose, you're feeling inside your body a little tickle in your nose. It's the same thing. So as I'm sliding my sound up, I'm going to feel it right here, and I'm going to go up past it and then back down, so you can kind of, like get an idea of what that's going to also feel like and sound like at the same time. So let's go ahead and slide from low to high. You can kind of tell that you're in the area. Now it's locking to place. I'm feeling it centralized now. I can feel it here. Okay, and now I'm going to get my on pitch app. And you'll notice it went to C4. And that's how locking a note into pitch works. When I work with students doing this, it not only helps you sing on perfect pitch, but it also helps you, if you are tone deaf or told that you're tone deaf. I've had quite a few students who have told me, oh, I've tried to sing, but I've been told I'm tone deaf. If you have a map of where everything goes and you know how to get it there and how to lock it into place, it makes it so easy. So anyways, this is my 3D map, which is really fun. We use it in the studio all the time during classes. But I also have a $95 vocal map that I have here for free that you can grab. And I'm pretty sure, let me see how I do this. Yes, I've got a QR code I'm going to put on the screen here for you so you can grab it if you would like to grab it. It has every single note within the human body. It has its location based on the curvatures of the bones on the head, the face, the sternum, and the rib cage. So this is your roadmap to singing, basically. And let's go ahead and take a look at how to slide into some of these other notes. So this is the mixed voice area. And I think it's really interesting when we get up to F4, because all of the notes that are located right here are the ones where our airflow and temperature changes, so that it becomes like a little bit harder to navigate. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So that clears up any issues you might have with it. So this is F4, and F4 on my map is right here. So if you know where your eyebrow bone goes up and then it stops on the other side. So that's one spot. That would be the same as this one right here. Then we're going to go up 2 more here. It just gets a little bit more sensitive. Oh, and right there. So that one's my F4. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide into my note. And if you're doing it along with me, you can feel that it goes right there. Now, here's a really neat thing. If you want to just double check without looking at your on pitch app to see if you're in the right spot, what you can also do is press here with your finger. And if you're in the right spot, the sound will get louder. So let's check it out and see. The reason that works is because it changes the flow of the sound, and this energy moves back down, and it puts a, what is it called? I'm trying to think of the word for it now. It's slipping my mind. Resistance on the vocal cords. But another thing that it does is it also lessens a nerve bundle at the back of your tongue, which just kind of opens everything up too. So if your sound's in the right spot and you're pressing down there, then it gets louder. If it's not, it doesn't. So now let's look at it with the on pitch app. And there's F4, and I was able to get it into that spot. Now, I had a student earlier today, which this is kind of why I'm doing this video, because I was like, this is some information people probably want to know about the vocal map and how it all works and everything. I've been working with this particular student for a couple of months now. We've been finding all of her vocal pitch points and everything. And she was like, okay, so I keep seeing all over the internet or videos or whatever. And she's like, I keep seeing how there's the mixed voice and the head voice and the chest voice. And I'm not sure where mine are because I can't really hear a difference in them. And I was like, yay, that's so good, because that's your goal, you know, as a singer, to not hear any kind of change between them. So it's a super smooth transition. But for her, she's new to singing. So she was like, I don't hear any flips. I don't hear any breaks. I don't hear any texture differences. And I was like, that's because you're finding your pitch points. And so to give you an example, like if you were not going to be using your pitch point, sliding your sound into where it's designed to go naturally, you would get some kind of sound similar to a head voice might have a lighter texture to it, like, if I'm in my pitch point, that's not just volume or hertz, it's location and placement too. So I'm directing my sound into the right area. If I was in that mix area where it's flipping in my vocal box goes from here to dropping as my placement moves. I could have another thing happen, which is very common when you begin, because we only know how to speak. So singing, it uses a lighter or a cooler temperature of air. So if you can't do that, a lot of times you just pull your voice up, kind of like if I try to hit that note, like, and it's already hurting, and I'm trying to pull it up literally to hit that note, which it's not designed to do. Instead, my sound literally jumps into the pitch point, and then it has what's called placement. So if you find your voice in this middle area, which is that area right there, so mixed voice. If you find that it's light in some places, it feels disconnected, maybe there's like high sounds, and then it gets loud, that's a common thing too, then you probably do not have all of your pitch points how you want to, your sound's not going into those pitch points the way that your body is designed to sing. So let's go ahead and do another one. Oh, and I told you earlier, this is so cool, you guys. Okay, so these are all in a very particular color pattern. So if you know the colors of the rainbow, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Those are on a spectrum of light, and our sound works the same exact way. So basically, what has been discovered, and I'll tell you such a cool story about this in a second, but what has been discovered lately is that if you take a musical pitch and you speed it up to the speed of light, then it has an equivalent color. So for instance, C is green, D is blue, and then you've got, the tones in between here also. So that's why we have these colors in that order there. But it's a really neat thing. If you go back about 2,000 years ago, there were only 4 known colors in the world. There's documentation of this in like ancient manuscripts and things. That was very common to be like, oh yeah, there's just 4 colors. Well, as people got more enlightened and as our vibes raised and all of that, eyes have literally opened, and now it's very common to see 7 colors, right? This is a story going back, I would say it's like 15 years ago now. I was teaching piano lessons at the time, and I had a group they were all little girls, and they all had a name that started with a K, which was kind of crazy. But they would come into my studio and play in my big grand piano. They were just little girls, like 4 to 6 or 7. And they all started telling me, Miss Katie, that note right there, that's green. This one's blue. And I'm like, okay, and then I'm hearing it so much that I'm like, maybe there's something to this, So anyways, and it was funny because like their parents would come in at the end of class and they'd be like, daughter, please stop. Like, don't say that. It's so strange or something. Well, now we know for a fact what it is. Isn't that so neat? So kids are literally kind of like, they know so much more than us. It's pretty amazing. But I remember writing it down. I have in my notes somewhat where I'll have to make another video showing you. And I had written out what they all said. And they all were, the thing that stuck out in my head was they said the C is green. And I thought C is a creative color. That would make sense, kind of the basis of it. But we didn't know how all of the scientific things behind it work. But yes, it is definitely green is a C. So that's my fun story about that. But whenever you look at my vocal map, everything is in color-coded order for you like that. And I think if our eyes could see more colors, we might, on a spectrum, have colors to our sound. Some people say they can see these colors as they're singing. That's called synesthesia is the word for that. So I just love all of these different ways to connect with the voice because I think it is so exciting, like the things we discover as we're here on Earth, and discovering how this vocal map works and has worked with thousands of students has just been so much fun. This part up here is really neat. This is in the shape of the Pythagorean theorem, and this is literally where your whistle tones go. See how it gets smaller in that same shape. So that is kind of an overview for how those mixed voice notes work. And I'm going to end us here with an exercise that you can follow along with. And so we'll go ahead and we'll start on this C4. I'm going to go to ah. Ah, ah, ah. And what I'm doing here is I'm touching my pitch points, like I was saying, makes it about 100 times easier. So why not do it as you're practicing? Then your body has what's called fascia in it. And the fascia is kind of looks like a spider's web, and it is responsible for memory within your muscles. So that's what muscle memory comes from. And whenever, I think it's used in sports a lot. Like if you're learning to dribble a basketball, you do it the same way every single time. So whenever you do it, you don't really have to think about it anymore. playing instruments is the same way too. Remember playing the piano, and I had to do the same finger numbers for every scale, and then you get to the place where your fingers just flip and you don't even think about it because your muscles are memorizing it. So when you're doing this as you're singing, you're telling your body how to memorize where these notes are placed. And it helps you get into these pitches even in the mixed voice area. So I'm going to be covering the head voice area for another live stream. They're literally on top of the head until it goes into stereo sound for whistle tones. And then we'll also be doing one. This is just the head of the human, but I'm getting another model here in my studio, and it shows how it goes down onto the sternum and the rib cage as well for men. So stay tuned for those. Thank you for joining the live stream today. And please, as always, let me know in the comments if there's anything that you'd like to see, any questions you have. I'm on here to explain my vocal math and method. I'm trying to do it almost every single day for the month of March. And, I just want to explain how it all works, answer all the questions that you have so you can have the most success with your singing. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have an absolutely fantastic evening. Good night.